What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the Noonchi podcast.
Hey, the Noonchi podcast. If you can't tell, ladies and gentlemen, if you're watching or if you're listening on audio, Bobby has a new haircut.
Yeah.
And we need to talk about it.
Why?
Hmm?
Why? Does it look that bad?
It doesn't look bad, but it looks like you're getting in touch with your age.
It looks like an older person's haircut?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I was going for younger. I asked for a really short haircut.
Mm-mm.
But yeah, then again, I go to an ajumma to cut my hair.
Really? Is it a 미용실 still?
Yeah.
But it's an ajumma, so it's like a 동네, like
yeah, exactly that.
So they are not up to date with.
No.
She just said, I'm gonna cut your hair as if you were my husband.
Yeah, basically.
Did your wife pick the 미용실 for you?
No, not that. No, I just went back to my normal place. Yeah,
but you know what? Like, as much as I can make fun of your haircut, I'm still jealous because I don't have many options of haircuts unless I let my shit grow.
Yeah, you should try it.
And then I look like, the Al Leong he's like in the 80s, he was like the bad guy.
He was always a bad guy.
The Asian bad guy and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can do that. The fat Al Leong.
He was in Awesome Asian Bad Guys.
Yes.
Where he's got the long hair but tries to cover like.
Do you think that's a good look for me? Do you know what I mean?
I think it'll draw attention.
I mean, I think I need to draw attention because I've been getting stopped on the street a little bit more.
Oh yeah.
Than normal.
Yeah.
But not enough.
Not enough.
Enough.
So you need an extra pizzazz.
It's just to be like, oh, dude, that's the dude.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think I just on a glance, I just look like just any other fat hairy guy.
Yeah.
You know? And so, maybe I should today I'm dressed like a fucking 90s R&B singer. Do you know what I mean?
That's probably the lightest you've looked like in terms of color.
Oh yeah, not in terms
colorful.
of
it's not even
in terms
colorful.
Of weight.
It's like beige.
Yes, it is a kind of a beigey tone.
What brought that on? Did you have it always? You just decided to?
Actually, my sister gave it to me when I was in LA.
States.
And then I rarely bust it out. So I said, yeah, today is
nice.
A warmer day. All black might be kind of stupid in this weather.
So, it's beautiful out there. Right?
Yeah.
Oh, finally.
So do you know the, what do you call it? The 벚꽃.
Yeah.
Right. What is that in English? The cherry blossoms, right? Yeah. I think it's pretty.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
It is.
But the idea of planting trees that only make an appearance for a week and a half.
Yeah.
It's kind of silly to me.
Yeah. I agree.
Do you know what I mean? It's like nature's fucking Christmas lights.
I have that talk with myself every year.
Mm-mm.
When it comes and goes.
Mm-mm.
Actually, when it comes, it's always like, oh. And then some years it's like there for a couple days and it downpours rain and it's just gone.
Yeah. So in my neighborhood, in Shincheon, that the main street, it's littered with those trees.
Yeah.
So boom, everyone's and me, I'm not in a hurry. I'm never in a hurry, right? But I don't like when I'm walking and there's a lot of people and all of a sudden some asshole decides to stop in the middle of the walkway to take pictures.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's basically it causes a bottleneck in where I need to go.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of against cherry blossoms.
Me too. Overall, I think it's it's like waiting to finally hook up with someone. and then you finish too early, and they're like, "Aw," you know, like everyone's kind of like, 'cause it's kind of like
Aw.
this.
Have you ever heard in the bedroom in your lifetime after sex go, "Aw." That
It's
is so
like
demoralizing, man.
I mean, it's nice for like 1 week a year,
Right,
right?
right, right.
And the rest of the year,
Yeah.
those trees are still there. It's very dismal in
Yeah,
comparison, like for the rest of the
yeah,
year.
yeah.
So I'm there with you. I think it's a bit much, like
Mm,
in terms of city planning.
right.
Like it's like, oh, you know what would be a good idea?
Yeah.
To populate these areas only for 1 week a year.
And I'm sure people are like, "Oh, you guys are assholes." But look, man, like they're okay. They're beautiful. They're pretty.
They are, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
But for a week and a half,
yeah.
I mean, Christmas lights are longer. I mean, actually, Christmas lights stay on longer than a week and a
That's
half.
true. Yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah.
I don't know, man. Not a fan. So, Bob, last week
Okay.
we were talking about, you brought up that you were going to therapy,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
And you're taking meds.
yeah.
How are you so far? It's been a little over a week, right?
Yeah, you know what? I ended up having to stop taking it like halfway because it was making me really, really nauseous and jittery and
Mm-mm-mm.
kind of like not myself. I
Mm,
couldn't like I couldn't act myself. It was a bit too much for me.
mm-mm.
So I kind of so I didn't go back to the same person because
Mm,
I was afraid. And so my wife was like, "Let's go to a different
mm,
therapist that speaks English
mm,
better,
mm,
maybe,
mm,
and just give it another shot."
mm, mm.
I think it was just way too like I couldn't work, I couldn't like focus, I couldn't. I mean, the whole point was to
Yeah, yeah,
get to
yeah.
a place where I could, feel better
Mm,
and focus, but it was just doing the opposite, and yeah, and then yeah, I mentioned this to you, but I was, like, checking up on, like, the side effects and stuff, and I was really worried about, like, some of it, and then one in particular kinda stood out. It says, like, "You won't be able to get up, like, perform,
mm.
like, if you're on these, like, daily."
Yeah, so it's anti-Viagra.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and, I'm old,
Uh,
so, it's like it's getting to that point in my life where that's gonna be a problem anyway,
mm.
but then I'm not ready to accept that fact and,
Right,
like, make it happen faster.
right.
And so I was worried about that.
Mm.
So I remember I was like, uh, so I did a test to see if it still worked.
How
Yeah.
did you?
Yeah. I just kind of like timed it right at home.
Uh,
And I found a corner while everyone was sleeping and I just looked at some sexiness online. Yeah. And it worked. So something's up with that. I don't know. No, I'll tell you what, I was worried because I remember yeah, I was in a mo I was I saw something very sexy,
mm,
and it didn't stimulate me,
mm.
like, during that week,
Right.
and I was like, "Oh, no, these are the side effects."
Oh, right, right,
It's
right.
like, I'm like, "This is it, this is the end of the line for me."
Yeah.
Um, Good news is I won't have to get that vasectomy. But I was still like, I was kinda worried, like, "Oh, man, that's one of the trade-offs," right? And so I I don't know why I'm going into detail about this stuff.
So
It's
so
like
so basically, whatever sexy image you saw that didn't trigger
Mhm.
your dick to get hard,
Yeah.
maybe wasn't really that sexy.
Maybe. That's true. Yeah.
So whatever you
Yeah.
were into, you know.
Yeah.
Wait, time out, time out. So like,
Yeah.
uh, do you have like sexiness stored in on a hard drive, like old
No,
school?
no,
Oh,
no,
so
no,
you go new
no.
school, right? You find
Yeah.
a site and
Yeah, yeah,
uh,
yeah. I'm still like I'm not an expert, but I still know how to use the internet. So yeah.
I'm proud of you. I'm so proud of
These are moments that run through my
you.
mind,
Yeah,
and I look into the future. My kids, if they ever listen to all these episodes, they'll be like, "Oh gosh."
dude.
Uh, anyway,
You know what? I feel like your kids will understand
hmm
why their father is this way
yeah,
better than you actually like,
explaining to
because you're
them.
not going to explain to them,
It's true. Yeah,
right? Do you know what I mean?
I mean,
Be like, why is dad that way? Oh shit, let's check out the Noonchi podcast.
there's freedom and
Oh,
honesty,
yeah,
kids.
yeah. This is
Um,
why.
yeah,
Yeah, come on, man. Like, look, I personally, you know, I don't know if I'll ever have kids, but if I did have kids and my kids saw my vast body of work,
yeah.
right?
If you ever have to teach them a lesson, just say, just listen to episode 36 of the Noonchi podcast. We'll be all set, right?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, like, I'm curious because like a lot of comedians, have kids,
Yeah,
right? Like, even though like the big ones,
yeah,
and I'm curious like how they
yeah,
are dealing with their celebrity comedian parent. You know
yeah,
what I mean? Saying wild shit possibly about them. It might be made up,
yeah,
maybe not, about them. And, their friends at school are like, dude, your dad said this or your mom said that or
yeah,
whatever. You
yeah.
know. I wonder what kind of benefit or, negative side effects that has,
Dave Chappelle has a bit about taking bites out of their kids' lunches, their
Mm,
sandwiches, and
mm,
his wife gets mad.
mm.
He's like, it's like, but your kids, like, you're their idols and
Mm,
heroes when they're really young, right?
yeah.
So he was saying, like, for his son, it'd be
Yeah.
like if you found a half-eaten sandwich by his dad, it'd be like, oh my god, he would love it. And his dad's Dave Chappelle.
Yeah.
He could trade that in for something better. So,
It's it is a very interesting what do you call it? Uh thing that I should I mean I probably should ask some of these
yeah,
kids. But uh a few weeks ago Chris Rock, he did a live show and
yeah,
now it's on Netflix. I actually got to see it
yeah.
in one sitting. And then recently Louis CK
Mhm.
released a special
Oh, yeah?
on his site. Uh
Okay.
and I'm told that it is great.
Oh, really?
I should
Okay,
go watch it. But
okay.
I mean, Louis is another one where like he had special upon special talking about his two daughters.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean? And so like I'm curious like
What the kids
what the
think.
kids are
Yeah,
like. I mean, Bert Kreischer, he once revealed in a podcast like his daughters came to one of his shows
yeah,
and one of them was like, I don't, Dad, I don't,
yeah,
he's lewd,
yeah, yeah.
And Bert Kreischer goes, "You want braces? This is how Daddy makes braces." And I was like, "Yeah, that's awesome."
He has one episode with, where he talks about his wife calls and says, your daughter
Mm,
was just suspended
mm,
for gambling,
mm,
right?
mm.
And on that ship, she was playing dice with other kids and gambling. He's like dying because of how gangster that is
Yeah.
for but I'd love to see you have kids, and because uh, not just like because I know it'll maybe fill your soul with a certain amount of like happiness, I guess,
Mm.
but like more importantly, all the episodes that make it onto your sets. So,
Yeah, I mean, there's some people like they like when you have a kid, right? Like as a comedian, you go, "Oh, here,
yeah.
congratulations, you have a new 15 minutes," right? Um, Speaking of kids, there's a Korean comedian who currently resides in Mexico
Uh-huh.
named Komiko,
Yeah, yeah. Mm.
who basically took his girlfriend to Mexico with him, got her pregnant, had a kid in Mexico,
Yeah.
and his goal is to do stand up in Spanish in Mexico.
Yeah.
You know, he was on a podcast, the Korean one that I do with
Oh yeah.
Tonguni,
Mm-hmm.
and we asked him his experience, and he goes, okay, so he goes, there's a guy who's, I forgot his name, but he's like the Yu Jae-suk of Mexico,
Okay.
right? So he'll do like a show, like fucking thousands of people will show up, and he does it often, right? And he said he went to a show, and he goes, did you find him funny? And he goes, I don't understand what the funny was.
Oh yeah.
Right. And I go, why the fuck are you there then?
Yeah.
If he's supposedly the top guy, and you don't understand what the fuck he's saying, then why would you
is
go?
he there to adapt, or is he there to, well,
I mean, his goal,
his own flair?
Well, I mean, he understands that like his Spanish is, him speaking Spanish is like a weapon. It's kind of like when you see like a foreign comedian do do stand up in English somewhere. This guy named Ismo, which was great. Like I think he's from Finland, and there's a lot of like like foreign comedians that come and speak about being the fish out of water scenario, or like, yo, why do you fucking do this? You guys are weird, and that's the position he wants to be in, because he feels like
on some level he's doing what you're doing.
Yeah, but I'm better. Yeah. Right. And he understands that, but like he was here for a week. And or 2 weeks, and the day before he left, he did 2 shows. Total about 350 people showed up. Right, packed. Show was great. He did an hour set, blah, blah, blah. I didn't get to see it because I had my own show to take care of. But afterwards, it's his final, hey, I'm not going to be here for a little bit. So we all gathered up at some place in Hongdae, and we ate kogi, and, he doesn't drink, but made him drink tequila, and we're talking, right? And then everybody was going like, why the fuck are you going? Why are you going back?
Well, I feel for him. I was in that same position essentially when I came to Korea.
Right.
I was doing really well finally, and like doing pretty good, selling out shows.
Right.
Back home in the States, and I came here and started all over. By no means is my Korean as good as his Spanish is. So on some level, up to some level, I think I can.
Yeah, I mean, I get it too. But I go, look, you dumbass, you just sold out 350 fucking seats in one night. I did that the week before, right? There's a kid right now that sold out 300 seats in fucking 5 minutes. There's another kid that can do the same. If we all Avengers did, we could sell out 1,000+ tickets in at least Seoul. Maybe, like something closer to similar in Busan. And we don't even have to do an hour. We can do like 20, 25 minutes each.
And I see the dilemma, but I see both sides of the fence. But that's a dangerous gamble on his part to make. But it's also, maybe there's something.
Oh, he's not. I mean, he's not making a penny doing stand up in Mexico, right? So, and then he tells me that, right? And then so I know his wife too. Now they're married. So I was like, hey, do you like Mexico? She's like, yeah, it's all right. And I go, but would you rather live in Mexico or here? And she goes, much rather live here.
Oh man,
right. And I go, did you tell him that? He's like, not really. And I was like, you should fucking tell him. Right. And then so like in the podcast, he doesn't know. He thinks his wife is enjoying Mexico a lot, right? And then he goes, the only reason I would come back here is if my wife wants to come.
Oh my gosh.
Right.
All right.
Right.
So they're in sort of like weird.
Yeah. So I told him, so, you should listen to the podcast because that's whatever. It's not, to me, it makes way more financial sense for him to do stand up in Korean. In Korea, he needs to get better. because he thought that him doing like he can't. I mean, it's gonna take him forever to do an hour in Spanish, but he thought the material he was gonna make in Spanish was gonna translate into Korean.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Which I told him it's not gonna happen because I
Rarely works.
can't do it either.
Yeah, yeah,
But he didn't listen, and then when he finally got here and prepared for his hour, he was like, "Ooh, shit, half of this doesn't work."
yeah.
And I go, "Yeah, you stupid ass."
Yeah.
Right? So like, it's like these types of things where I want to like, um and then he has a kid. So he's like, "Do you want to raise a kid in Mexico or raise a kid here?" At least here there's in-laws and whatever like, that can, like take care of the kid if, whatever.
Their kid was born in
Mexico.
Mexico?
Yeah.
How does that work?
I think she's a dual citizen.
Dual?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Hmm.
yeah. Anyway, like I was curious because, ultimately he makes money as a YouTuber.
Oh, okay.
Right.
So he's
So it don't
trying to
matter
live
where
without borders.
yeah, it doesn't matter where he
Yeah.
lives. He can make money just doing that.
But the content that he makes in Mexico is still doing well
It's
here.
good enough.
Good enough. Okay.
And so like, that's the type of dilemma that he's in.
Well, if it's a scenario of, just him having to, you know, just like fail for once, maybe, or I don't
Mm.
know. I don't know his history, but maybe he just needs like a big reality check.
Mm.
Maybe that'll give him more incentive to
I think it's also
go at it harder.
I think it's ego.
Ego.
Because
Okay.
he said he's gonna do it. He said he's gonna, his goal is
Oh,
to
he
like
doesn't
do
wanna,
like
right.
a fucking Netflix special in Spanish.
Oh,
Like,
okay.
he has those dreams,
And he
but
did a farewell tour here.
yeah.
Okay, so
About a year ago. It's been a year.
it's
So
been
yeah.
okay.
So I've seen his set in Spanish. I'm not fluent,
Okay.
but I can gather the rhythm of it.
Mhm.
And I go, it's gonna take him a long ass time to do a tight ass hour.
Mm.
Right. And so like that's what I like. I'm not gonna shut down his dreams because in essence,
Yeah.
I'm doing what he's doing in Mexico. I'm doing it
Yeah.
here.
Yeah.
Except as I said, I'm
Yeah.
better. Right.
Yeah.
And so like I'm curious, like for you know what it is? It's like someone who it's not like a at the end of the day, he has to provide for his family,
Mhm.
right? His wife is a stay-at-home mom.
Yeah.
And so how like if you
Mhm.
were in his shoes,
Yeah.
right?
I kinda am,
Yeah, so
you know?
what would you tell Komiko? Follow your dreams or
I mean, I would
be responsible, come here and fucking tell jokes where you're gonna
I
make
think
money.
my advice wouldn't really be worth it
Mm,
much to him because I would say hold on as long as possible.
mm,
I mean, that's what I've done.
mm,
But I'm getting to a place where it's like
mm,
getting really dangerous
mm,
because I know I can make a lot more
mm,
if I go back home,
mm,
um, doing what I didn't set off to do.
mm.
Like I came here with a dream,
Yeah.
that I still haven't fulfilled. And for me, it's been 12 years, but you know, from I'm a long distance runner, so
Mm.
I I know it's going to take a long time.
Right, right.
So I'm okay with that. But because for my wife to be like, she's sort of in the same position where she's like, oh, my Bobby can make more money in the States.
Mm.
This financially does not make sense for our family.
Right.
That's the position I'm in. I'm in a similar
Right,
position.
right, right.
And I keep, having to go on trial
Mm.
here and to state my case. And it gets thinner and thinner with every year.
Right, right.
So I am, yeah, I feel for the guy.
Mm.
But at the end of the day, if as long as he's providing for his family
Mm.
and, you know, your decisions, you stand by them,
Mm.
right? So I think he'll be okay. But really, it's not about, at least for me, I'm not trying to uh, find excess for my kids.
Mm.
If I can make just enough, to provide for them, that's good enough.
Right,
That's
right,
what's keeping me here.
right.
But I understand, you know, the insurance and, trying to get, be a little bit more responsible about it is where my wife's coming from. And so I deal with that on a daily basis. It feeds into my depression, actually. And it feeds into, my insecurities. And that's why I'm all messed up, So I'm just trying to find that balance, or maybe, I'm trying to hit the lotto or something, like not just like um, literally, but maybe even figuratively, maybe.
So you're
Uh,
telling basically if you had to talk to Komiko, you'd be like, stay your ass in Mexico as long as you can.
no, no. I mean, he's at the beginning of that,
Mm,
but if his vision is clear and he knows what he wants to get,
mm,
like, then we can talk about it. But I don't, yeah, I don't know. Based on the information you've given me,
mm,
I, if I was his friend,
mm.
I would probably be a naysayer, or just I tell him he's going down the wrong path
Yeah, I mean,
as a young,
yeah, I mean,
like
I,
so.
I was like, look, man, like we can do stand up here, like
Yeah,
comedy here,
yeah,
and you know,
yeah,
make okay money doing it here
yeah,
and blow this fucking scene up, you
yeah,
know, as opposed to, you doing open mics in
yeah.
front of 5 people every day forever.
Oh
Not forever,
man.
but you know what I mean? Like, because I could see his set and go, I get it. It's
Well,
well, well, Komiko, I know you're not gonna watch this because you don't speak English, but Danny Hyung wish you came back. But however, if you really, really fucking believe in this dream you have, 그러면 하고 싶은 대로 해.
fighting,
Mm.
fighting.
And and with that,
Yeah,
uh, Bob, hopefully you find a better meds and better.
yeah. I was
Uh,
gonna go this weekend, but the whole family was sick.
yeah, yeah.
So we had to cancel my appointment. But we'll see. This weekend's my 8th year anniversary with my wife, so we're
Mm.
gonna have a nice dinner together on Saturday. Then, yeah, we'll see. This we can wrap it for this week, and then we'll give you an update on that next week.
Yeah, I'm sure our fucking our viewers would love to hear your how you romantically wined and dined your wife of 8 years.
Can't wait. All
All
right,
right, yo.
peace.
Peace.